Hey, everyone. Frazer Brooks here, coming to you live from Cologne in Germany. And tonight we have something so flippin' special lined up for you. I can't even explain to you how important this is for you. So I have had the pleasure of meeting the guy I'm about to introduce you to a number of times, but I've known of him since I was, geez, man, I don't even know. I probably knew of Tim Sales before I even know how to talk to girls. And that's not even a joke either. He is a legend. Isn't the right word. I would say icon. What's above a legend? Let's just go iconic. With a lot of his trainings has been what people have grown up around the industry, not just in the US, but all over the world. But I remember sharing the stage with Tim not so long ago, and I didn't have a notepad and pen. And it was the first time I've been to an event where I didn't have a notepad and pen, because I was speaking. I was more focused on what I was delivering. And I remember going up on stage, coming off, and then Tim was on the stage. And I remember literally saying to the person next to me, for the first time since I was in school, bearing in mind this was in August last year in Mackinac Island, hey, have you got a pen and a piece of paper? And they were like, yeah, why? I said, I haven't got a piece of pen and paper. I need to make notes on this guy. Every time he speaks, you learn something that you think you know, but you really don't, because his way of delivery, his way of analyzing, his way of teaching and training is so in-depth that it's impossible not to come out with something new. And he's recently come up with he's got a new YouTube channel. It's absolutely phenomenal. If you just type in Tim Sales on YouTube, it will come up. But he breaks down a lot of the anti-MLM and anti-network marketing things that get posted out there online. I believe one of the biggest traits of being a leader in network marketing is really defending what you believe in. And a lot of leaders say they would, but when it comes to it, would they? A lot of people don't. There's a handful of people I know in this game who will put, their money where their mouth is, who will put their face in front of a screen, who will build a flipping studio to answer the anti-MLMers. And today I can't wait to hand it over to him, for him to just break down the difference, or how people are coming to you and saying, oh, but the average person network marketing makes nothing. I prefer to start a real estate company or be a real estate agent or whatever. This training is going to blow your mind. I am not making the mistake again. So I have a piece of paper and I've got a set of pens, Tim. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm going to hand it over to you. Guys, please do me a massive favor and share this out to every single network marketer you know, and anyone who has said to you before something anti-MLM, if you feel that you want to go there. It's a bit risky to do that, but if you feel that you want to do that, then let's do it. So I give you all the great privilege and pleasure and the honor to have Mr. Tim Sales with us. Tim, how you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, buddy. I'm just going to switch it over so we've got you on the big screen and everyone can just, kind of get all that knowledge that you're going to be sharing.
You're very polite, sir. And I appreciate everything that you said, and I don't take it lightly. And just from a perspective of equality here, if you're going live, everybody knows that you are incredible and you are a stud and you defend the industry. No question about it. And so thank you for all of that, but you are as well. And I want everyone that's watching to know what an icon you are and how knowledgeable you are. I take as much notes on you as you do on me. Well, wait a minute now. You didn't have a pen. I did. Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And just so that your audience knows what I'm trying to do. It's network marketing power is, wherever you type that, that's what it is. And what I'm really trying to do in my first year of talking to the industry, it was an anti-conversation. And the reason being is that I would Google Frazer, and there were like 12 people who came up, and 6 or 7 of those were anti-comments, even if it was Entrepreneur Magazine or Success or something like that. And I was like, even they don't know what is going on. And so, so that's when I decided that I needed to talk about what network marketing isn't first, because you can't give them the true definition of network marketing if they have the idea that it's a pyramid or it's a scam or it's a cult, or if it's, you know, people at the top make all the money and all those things. And so that's what I decided to do, was to teach people what it isn't so that I could then teach them what it is and then how to do the thing. And in this topic, I'm talking about what is network marketing. So I've done about 4 or 5 videos on what is network marketing. And this one is compared to. So I compared it to real estate. I compared it to YouTubers. I compared it to actors, entertainers, musicians. I compared it to Amazon sellers. I compare it to a lot of different things, because only when something is compared can it have a value. If I were to say, it's big. What is big? Shrimp or a mountain? You have to compare something in order to create some representation. So in this particular video, I'm talking about the real estate income compared to network marketing income. And so in order to kind of dive into this, where do I stick the shovel and start digging? Like, where do I start? Well, it starts with how we are similar. In other words, how is real estate similar and how is network marketing similar to begin with before we even get into income? So in real estate agents have to generate a lead, contact the lead, set an appointment to show the house. Their presentation is a house. In network marketing, we generate a lead, we contact the lead, we set an appointment for them to see a presentation. Could be a video, could be, you know, like an event or something like that. And then you follow up, then you serve the customer, and then you get money. Okay? That's the way that it works. And now, if you just look at this, you'll find that everything in the whole world works this way. Every company has a division or section of their company that has to do this. Every individual has to do this. Every church has to do this. Right? So how did I get my wife? Well, I got my wife. I generated a lead, a contact, I set an appointment, I did a presentation. I followed up for 3 years. Okay? Constantly doing this thing over and over and over again. All right? That's the bottom line. So now when you look at real estate, let's just take some number. $225,000 is the average cost of the house. The commission is around $5,000. You do that times 10, so you'd sell 10 houses, you make $50,000, all right? This is going to really matter in just a minute, that you understand where this equation comes from. In the direct sales industry, network marketing, you got commissions. In other words, I can get a customer, I can also get a rep, all right, in that situation. And it's very similar to the real estate industry, because a broker can eventually get other real estate agents. And so it's the most similar comparison that we have. Okay. So, all right. So if you go to let me just back up one here. Yeah. All right. So if you go to Google, and you Google, Google always knows, right? And so you Google and average income of a real estate agent in 2019, you will find that the top one here is $41,289. Well, that came from Forbes, and I was a little curious about why it came from Forbes and not, I don't know, IRS data or something like that. But then it drops down here, and it's the average real estate. And this one is out of salary.com. And then this one was another one, and it was a different number. So each of these are different numbers. And I said, how can a statistic be that variable? And so it either it came out of survey data or something like that. That's what I was trying to figure out. So one of the main things that I hope you get out of this is that where is it derived from? Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So on this particular one, I've got to walk you through something, and it is that we start our math at a known number, because if you can't start with a one you don't know. You don't want to try to do it that way. You want to try and find a stable number. And 50,000 people per year get a real estate license. That we know. But we also know that only 44% passed that exam to become an agent. That means that 56% didn't pass that test. And so you're going to have to add those two together to come up with 113. But you can take the test 1.5 times to pass it. And so you have to have more people. All right. And so then that means 142 people finished the course. What course? Where there's a required course that's 75.5 hours of contract and regulatory law. All right. That means we needed 710,000 people, and only 20% passed that test or passed that course. So we had to start out with 710,000 people in order to get 50,000 people, in order to get 25,000 people who earn $48,690. So how do you lie with statistics? Here's how you lie with statistics. One way. That whole book's full of them. One way is to omit that happens. Okay? If you just took out 93% of when a person says, I want to be a real estate agent, and they go through this journey, if you just omit everybody who didn't pass the exam, then you could say that this group makes $41,289. That's the way you would be able to make a statement like that. Okay? Because I was extremely suspicious that somehow their average income was $41,000 when their activities that we do and they do are very similar. All right? So that's where that came from. And then, so let's start back up here so you can get this. 50,000 people become real estate agents, and then 37,500 sell at least one home, and then 25,000 people earn the median income of $48,000, and then 9,000 people earn $75,000 or more, and then 0.18% or 1,250 earn $110,000 or more. So that is what happens, right? Like this is the actual data. So now there's a very interesting question here that I got to ask you. How does this number right here, okay, 50,000 people got a license. Now, listen closely. How did we lose 12,500 people between got a license and sold one home? How did we lose 12,500 people? Wait a minute. Didn't they take a course? They took a course. But the course was on contract and regulatory law. Evidently, the course did not train on how to sell a house. You see, in order to sell a house, you're going to have to move. To get into the average, you're going to have to move, let's say you have to get 10 houses sold to make $50,000. That means how many leads did you have to move? Let's call it that you had to move 100 leads across the pipeline in order to sell 10 homes. It's 1 out of 10. Okay? Well, the only way you could lose 12,500 people is to have people not doing enough quantity of leads across the pipeline in order to find 10 who wanted to buy a house. That's how you do it. All right. But in this example, we lost 12,500 who never sold a home. In other words, they did not put enough leads on the pipeline and move them across the board in order to sell one home. All right. And this is my bigger message. My message is not that we do better than real estate. That's not my message. My message is that if it requires a person to move a quantity across the pipeline in real estate, and there is a group that doesn't do it, it doesn't mean the model is broken. It doesn't mean it's a scam. Okay, and that is a lot of times what we are looked at, and we say, oh, so few people make money in network marketing. But when you actually break down the numbers and do a comparison, a side by side, you'll find that on this median income right here, we have 2 times more people who will earn $50,000 in network marketing. In other words, we started with the same number up here because this kind of set the standard. And then we started with 710,000 here. We don't have any of those attrition gates there. And so all of our numbers drop down to here. We're going to 81% or 578,000 will sell at least one product in network marketing. Now, obviously, it's easier to sell a nutrition product or a hair product or something like that than it is to sell a house, but the process is the same. And then, but we lose a lot between the 578 here and 53,000. Even though we lose a lot there, we're still 2 times more than the median income of real estate agents. And so then real estate has 9,000 people who make 75,000. We will have 25,860. Again, real estate will have 1,250. We'll have 14,396 who make $110,000. All right. And so that is a big difference. And Frazer, if you have any questions before I kind of go into this next section, now would be a good time because I want people to have their epiphanies before.
Well, so to be honest with you, I'm just blown away with these things. I know how much research you put into. I suppose my main question to you is, for those who, for some bizarre reason, haven't come across the name Tim Sales, why should they believe the statistics that you have come up with? How tell the guys of the process of how you found these statistics, because these statistics, guys, for those of you who know this, these statistics aren't easy to come across. Like, Tim hasn't just gone on Google Images and gone onto the second page of Google Images and gone, Bob Jones has done a blog post saying like blah blah blah. You have, like, what's been the research process? I love research too. What's been that process?
Okay. So the reason that, I became suspicious, Frazer.
Yeah.
All right. And that was the Google research, right? So when I Googled average income and it says $50,000, and I'm like, wait a minute, their activities are the same, like what they do on a daily operations, right? And so how could real estate get that much better of a person? And I was like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second, because there are a lot of people who leave real estate and come to network marketing, and I know them. Okay. So that led me to be suspicious that there was an omitted number. All right. So we found a small Texas town. So you got to keep Googling and Googling and Googling, right? And you try different query searches. And I just happened to, I wanted to know how many people. I knew that there was an exam because you would have swore I was trying to become a real estate agent because of my search. Everything that came up on my Google account, it was just all about real estate. When you want to become a license, ads targeted me all over the place. In other words, I got into that world and I began to get these like advertisements, and I was like, how much does that course cost? Right. And then how long does that course take? 75.5 hours. Are you kidding? There was a person who was doing he was anti-MLM, but he reached out to me and he said, I've got some criticism about network marketing, and somebody told me that I should do a debate with you. And I said, okay, great. All right, fine. It's your channel and I need to know, so it's your sandbox. I'm not going to mess with your sandbox. Are you hiding? Are you going to secret attack me? Just let me know that you plan to do that, because it's your sandbox and I'll let you. Okay. But if you want to win, let me know that too, because I will let you win, but not by much. Literally, because you see, when you know all this data, you're lethal. Yeah. Okay. Like my background's former special operations. I know when I have superior firepower because I do my intelligence. All right. So I got a whole team of statisticians, mathematicians, researchers, data scientists to once I caught the string of how this happens, and my clue came right here, passed the exam, and then I searched small Texas town, said 44% passed the test. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that's how it started. I've given all the clues of anybody who wants to do the research themselves. Go out there. Okay. Go out there and just start with that number right there and try to figure it out. The only number that I absolutely cannot get, and so statisticians do what statisticians do, is how many, because there are thousands of real estate courses, groups that offer courses. They're not going to come together and say, our average person who starts and pays for it, who does not ever move on, doesn't finish it. They're not going to tell us that number.
Right.
Okay. And that's the number that you have to use Pareto principle on, the 80-20 rule. And as your wife knows, as a data scientist, that's what you use when you don't have a real statistic. If somebody wants to come forward and say, 22% pass, great, I'll change it.
Yeah, you know what? There's a saying, isn't it? And Tim, you've been saying it for years. Is documentation beats conversation. Like, you can get into a conversation with a friend of yours saying, "Oh yeah, but it's just show them this video." Like, just show them this video. Show them the numbers. Because numbers don't lie. People lie. Men lie. Women lie. Numbers don't lie. So, yeah, I just wanted to.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Numbers can lie.
Yeah,
numbers can lie.
Right.
All right. So I saw this on Bill Gates's counter, and I was like, I got to see what he's reading. And so I had to read this book. And so if you omit all of this, then it's a lie. All right. Now, these numbers here. Okay. So I had to know for a fact when Tim Sells goes out and shows numbers, okay, if somebody wants to bring me to court with it, I got to stand behind it. Right. Yeah. And so I know these numbers absolute. Okay. Now that's a hard thing because in network marketing, companies sometimes, when they put into an itemized list and they say over here is, distributor expenses or, compensation or whatever it is. You don't know what all got thrown into that. You don't know if a company convention was put into that. In other words, distributor compensation. You don't know that an incentive trip didn't get put into that. You don't know what went into that category. So it's kind of like that Hollywood accounting thing. And so that's what I had to look at, Frazer, is that I didn't want to risk any of those numbers. And so I got numbers that I absolutely 100% would bet my life on. Okay?
So with regards to the 700 distributors, right? The people who are
700,000 or 700?
Sorry, 700,000, my bad. 700,000 distributors. Is there a potential that is actually higher than the accurate number because some companies maybe take, we have 700,000 distributors in our network, but some of them maybe are cut because not every company, I don't know, it depends on how old the data is, but can separate their customers and distributors because some companies just have the same terminology. You buy the product, you are a customer. If you just want to use it yourself, you're a distributor. If you pay the $25 joining fee to become a distributor. So is that number technically, could it even be higher than what it actually is?
I would very accurately state that idea is baked into the numbers. In other words, it's kind of like a real estate agent over here who takes a course but never becomes an agent because he's an investor. In other words, there are numbers baked into here and there's numbers baked into here, but this is the way the numbers drop. All right. So all of that was factored in, right? So I kept on feeding like variable here, right? And the data scientists were going, okay, all right. And so, yeah. So on all sides, they're baked into the numbers.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay? I love it.
But here's the big question. Why? As you guys over there would say, bloody why? because I wanted to know. I'm telling you, when they showed me 11 times more people make $100,000, I sat there, Frazer, and I'm like, guys, give me a minute. Like I can't compute this. Okay. And so like I'm drawing a line and I'm like sketching out and I'm like trying to look at each individual and how many people I've worked with and all these different things. And then I went back to this thing over here. Okay. So because these in my world, all right, I got to give this a little idea. Okay. So my former line was special operations. What I did was defuse bombs. How in the world do you defuse bombs? Okay, so what we did is that each of these things right here, we call it a firing train in a bomb. But it's box cars is the way that we were trained in how to defuse bombs. And so we look at a firing train and we say box car 1, box car 2, box car 3, and so forth. And what is this? So there's something that initiates the bomb going boom. It might be a clock stopping. But right after that clock stops, it triggers boxcar number 2, boxcar number 3, and then boxcar number 4, which is the big detonation. So it might go through an electrical thing. It might go through a blasting cap or something, okay? So when you grow up and your life depends on it and your team's life depends on it, you get very, very good at seeing life this way, okay? Boxcars, everything's a boxcar. And so what we tried to do in the bomb squad was, how do we interrupt the firing train? Okay, how do we break it here right after the initiation? How do we break it before it hits the blasting cap? How do we break it before the blasting cap blows up the big explosives or something like that? Okay, so each bomb's a little bit different, but the concept is the same. So when I came up with this whole pipeline, it was, how do you get a customer? Well, every customer I ever got in my whole life had to have seen a presentation. I never got a customer who didn't see a presentation, right? And so then I never got a presentation. Nobody ever saw a presentation that I didn't contact them. Sometimes I set an appointment for them. Sometimes they go straight from lead to see a presentation from a Facebook ad. But these were the maximum box cars. So I knew that every real estate agent had to do this process like we did. And so I could not fathom how in the world we could have 11 times more. Here's how it happens. In real estate, as an agent, in order to make $50,000, you have to sell 10 homes. In order to make $100,000, you have to sell 20 homes. That means you got to move 200 leads across the pipeline if 1 in 10 buy the house. And so how many people are doing the pipeline for this person's income? 1. Maybe he has an assistant. Maybe he has somebody who does lead generation. Maybe. Okay? But 2 or 3 or 4 maybe. Okay? And so this person is going to run out of time capacity to do this. And at the end of the year, he has to start all over and do it again. In network marketing, our income, if we have consumable products, tends to be repetitive. In other words, people continue to buy it. It's just like your cell phone service that is attached to your phone. And so you pay that every month, every year. And so our income tends to be residual because our products are residual, are reoccurring, if you will. And so that's number 1 is that we will stack our income up on top of each other. Yes, we have attrition. But let's say you got 10 and you saved 2. Or you had 100 and you saved 20. Or you had 1,000 and saved 200. In other words, the 200 is mounting. It continues and it builds. And so not only that, but we have more than one person doing the pipeline. When you look at a team of representatives, now you're looking at what the broker has. You see, the real estate broker has this leverage. They have other people doing the pipeline for them or with them. And that's the case in network marketing. And that is the reason that we would have a number that comes up where we have 11 times more people making 100,000. And so you see 2 times more here, 3 times more here, and 11 times here. Why? Because the real estate agents are running out of time to move the quantity across the pipeline. That's the reason that it's there. But I think more, go ahead.
And Tim, sorry, is this also turnover revenue? Because as a network marketer, your revenue, your commission is pretty much close to what you're taking home. You're not employing, you're not advertising, you're not having to, put advertising in the newspaper if you don't want to. If you're going to buy some leaflets, it's not very much. You don't have to put a billboard in the main street. You don't have to. So is this take home money, or is this just the commission? Because I'm looking at that.
It's just the commission.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So when you think about it on a real estate agent's perspective, so they got to hang their plaque in some brokerage firm, right? And so they sometimes pay rent for that, especially in the beginning. And they have to be sponsored in some states. They have to be sponsored by a broker. In other words, they can't just go out and start selling homes. They got to be sponsored by a broker before they are even allowed to take an exam in some cases, because so many people were getting licensed, but then that none of the brokers would sponsor them. Okay, so if you really got inside the study, you're going to realize, wow, it ain't that pretty out there. Okay, so we will take you and we will hug you, where other brokers look at you and go, not so much. Boom, you're out. So there's expenses there. There are expenses that you would have to do: the bus sign, the bench park sign, all the advertising in magazines and things like that, if you want to sell that home. And so that's all. Each one of those is deducted off the cost. Okay, so I sponsored about 140 people in about 4 years, and didn't do any other advertising types of stuff, right? But yet ended up having 57 millionaires come out of my team. Okay, so there can be an effort where, yes, you spend money, but it isn't residual every year of you trying to do the same thing. You get what I'm saying? In other words, there is an advantage, because once you start getting a team, all right, I'm going to give you a secret number, okay? So if I get a team in any network marketing business, you're building a sales team down the line. If I get 40 people in a team, one of those is going to make $100,000 mathematically. Okay? So get this idea for a moment. You mean I got to get 40 people? No, I get to get 40 people. You mean to tell me that do I have to get them? No. In other words, if I'm here and I'm going to get 40 and you're one of them, and then you say, well, I'll get 20 and you get 20. Deal. If we get 4 of us and say, you get 10, I get 10, you get 10, you get 10, 40 is 40, okay? And it's mathematical. Now, I can't promise that at 40, there's going to be somebody, but mathematically, that's what you end up seeing. And so once a person really gets that concept and idea, now you'll know that even the broker likely doesn't have 40 agents. Okay? And so we will probably even beat the broker's income.
And so here's another one for you. So network marketing commission is network marketing commission, right? So depending on the company you're with, you might get paid 30 to 40% if we kind of median it up. You'll probably know the 3 decimal place at industry average, but this is what I want you guys to understand as well. I was a real estate agent before I become a network marketer from age 18. Yeah. So age 18.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, really appreciate that one. Don't get into a fight with Tim. He used to defuse bombs. So like I'm not getting anywhere near him with that sort of situation. So here's what I knew. From 18 to 21, I did that. I was the person who sold the houses I did the presentation basically. My brokerage earned 1.25% every property they sold. How much did I earn? I didn't. I got paid a salary, right? So although the statistics that Tim is sharing is based on, I think he said Texas, worldwide.
No. This is countrywide.
Countrywide. Okay.
Countrywide. We were able to find the URL string in order to find all the states.
Perfect.
And pass rates.
Perfect. Well, here's what I know. Every time I watch a property show in the US, I am blown away when they say they earn a 3%, 4%, 5% commission, because I can't believe it, because here in Europe, it is not like that, which only makes the numbers. For me in Europe, I'm looking at these numbers and thinking 50,000 off selling 10 homes. Like, wow, we'd have to sell 50 houses to make something like that. So just wanted to throw that in there, Tim. It's an interesting game when you kind of look at it from an international point of view as well. If you looked at the average international commission on a property sale, I would guess it would be a considerable amount less than 5%. So yeah, probably so. And when you really, really look at it, Frazer, if I were here, I have to redo 20 houses every year if I want to make 100K. Okay. But it's not just that. It is that I have to, think of it from a woman's standpoint. She's going into vacant houses a lot of times and showing the house, right? If my wife said, babe, I want to be a real estate agent, and I'm like, okay, I'm your bodyguard then. There's no way I'm letting my wife go into a house with a man that's vacant, right? Like, it's just like, no, not happening, right? You know what I mean? In other words, like, there are other scenarios that are going on. When you just look at what the doingness of daily, you have so much paperwork. You have a stack of paper. Like, have you ever gone to a settlement, a closing of my own house? It's like, we need to sign some paper, and you're like, what? And you're going through there and you're signing paper after paper. Well, that was what was in this real estate agent course, contract and regulatory law. And so it's a lot of administrative work that goes into it as well. And so most of the people, so even if we were the same, they have no geographic diversification like we have in network marketing. So I can have businesses all over Europe and all over the United States. And, even the countries that have had less of a COVID hit, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I'm in that country. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of advantage even above this, I absolutely flipping love it. I love all this sort of stuff. And hey, to anyone who's in real estate watching this, I love the fact that you sell real estate. I know that you get that fulfilling feeling of, you put someone in a home and that you've sold them a great home. It's awesome feeling. Some estate agents are known for being bad, for kind of like trying to like screw you out of a deal. Some network marketers are the same, guys. Some network marketers give our profession a bad name by trying to do different things. So everything's got its good and its bad. One thing, Tim, I have to ask you is, having the military background and I believe that people who've been in the military could be phenomenal network marketers. There's so many stories I know of people who've been in the military. I believe one of the reasons why is discipline and habits. And you mentioned that on a post that I made earlier. What would you say to someone who's out there in network marketing and who is not at that 50K a year mark. Like, what basic disciplines or habits would you recommend them to create for them to start to be proud of the income that they're generating?
You know, this is what I do every day of my life, right? I answer that question. Because what else is there, right? All right. So, if I were to, and I know this is going to sound like I just went into another whole realm, but I didn't.
Yes.
If I were to just say, okay, you want to lose weight. What would you think if I told you that you might need to change your eating habits? You would say, well, that's logical because you can't get fat unless you eat something, right? Right. So we've done rescue ops on people who were prisoners and they weren't so fat. Okay. They weren't chubby. And so you have to eat something in order to get fat. That only makes sense. And so it's only logical. If you want to lose weight, you're going to have to change your habits around food. All right. Well, guess what? You're going to have to change your habits around making money. And if you're used to waking up, getting in the shower, getting dressed, putting on your shoes, brushing your teeth, grabbing a coffee and a waffle on the way out the door to go make money, and then you stand and you go to meetings, and then you do different things. Like if you've got a job and you're used to making money that way, you're going to have to change that routine. If you want to get into the $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, but the only thing that you've got to do is to increase the quantity. And this is the thing, Frazer, I'm so glad you asked me about this. This is the thing that I didn't get an opportunity to really share with you is that every group, every income category, whether you're a stock trader, stock broker, whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is, there are income brackets. And in a job, you have to work your way and climb your way up the ladder. And sometimes there are political reasons why you can't advance. In the sales world, it's all people who are willing to move quantity win. They are the ones in the higher brackets. It's not that we got in first. It's not that we got in at the top. I was the very first person to join my company, but yet there's 38 people who make more money than me. How could that be? We are the only industry that I know where the top doesn't make most of the money. Okay. It's not fair. Anyway, so that was a joke. All right. So let me explain this. Here's the habit that you need to change. So this is all there is, and there is not any more. You have to generate a lead. You have to contact the lead. You have to set an appointment. You have to do a presentation, follow up a customer. How you do that is optional. In other words, do you have to open up your phone and contact somebody you know? No. You just have to do, if you're not willing to do that, okay, run an ad. Okay, talk to people on the street. I don't know. It doesn't matter because all I care about is getting a lead generated, and then contact them, set an appointment, do a presentation. What presentation? Could be just a video. Could be, inviting them for a coffee. It could be bringing them to your house. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's just got to be a presentation of some kind. If you have an excuse why you can't do any one of these steps, that's all you need. That's all you need. If you say, well, I don't have any money to generate leads. Okay. You still got to generate a lead. But how? Well, there's a rule. If you don't have money to advertise to get prospects to come to you, then you have to go to them. And it sucks. I had to do it. And it made me a very smart businessman because my wife, when we got married, I'm allocating this money off to the side. And she said, what's that for? And I said, that's so that I never, ever, ever have to go to the prospect. And she didn't understand what I was talking about, but I had to go through that. I had to hand out flyers. I would run a marathon, and then I would come back and I'd put flyers on the cars. I'd run a triathlon. I'd do the same thing. I joined a club, the Biscayne Bay Cleanup Club. We put a garbage can in between us. We pick up trash, and the whole time I get to talk to this guy, right? So I had to do the grunt work because I did not have money to advertise. But if I cannot do this step, then the whole thing is dead. And until you get that in your head and accept it, that this is the new routine, this is the habit that I have to have every day. Mm-hmm. So it's quantity across the pipeline, and there ain't no more.
And it's so funny. I've learned the concept of the pipeline. It's one of the first things that I got shown, and it's my habits. And what I teach is you find someone, you add them, you message them. That's a lead and contact. You see if they're open to watch a presentation. That's you basically doing the appointment. You have the presentation, video, whatever tool. You follow up to see what they like best about the presentation, about the video. You get into a conversation, three-way call if you need, and you sign them up. Some people say yes, some people say no. But if you, in my opinion, and you and me are similar, we like numbers, we like how that works. If you don't know your pipeline process, you don't know which part of the process to improve on. Because if you're getting a lot of leads who aren't watching the presentation, that's on you. If you're getting a lot of people on the presentation and they're not saying yes, are you following up, or what is the presentation? Maybe you need to tweak these things. You need to know where are people stopping along the pipeline. And obviously then you've got to put a shed load of people through it. So, Tim, you're awesome.
And that one, if I can just touch on that, because what you said is really, really smart. Like, I hope everybody really understood it. I did. And so if you've got a big, huge stack here and you're not able to move those leads across, there's a reason why you're not able to move them. Maybe they get stuck in setting appointment and you keep getting no's at the setting of the appointment, right? There's a reason why it's not moving. And that is where we move out of quantity and we move into quality. And what I mean by that is that if you are over here and you need to move somebody this way and you're not able to do it, all right, so it is how you're contacting them. Okay, so I obviously get a lot of spam. I get, in LinkedIn, it's just never stops. And so these people think that they're actually prospecting, trying to set an appointment with me. No, that's not what they're doing. They are ensuring that I never respond to them. And so it's not just about quantity, it is also about quality. And so I had an owner of a network marketing company prospecting me, and he did it in such a professional way. And I just wrote him back and I said, I have now officially been prospected by the most professional invite I've ever seen, right? 20 others were like, you got to watch this. It's unbelievable. This coin is going to go to the top of blah, blah. Oh, please delete, right? So recognize that it's quantity, but it's quantity across the pipeline.
I love it. I think it's so powerful. So Tim, obviously we've gone here for 50 odd minutes, and I'm massively appreciative of your time. It's amazing how the time just flies when you get into things. It's awesome. How can people get a condensed version of this? Can they go to Network Marketing Power, and is this like a condensed version on there? Can they subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that they can keep getting these regular videos from you, from your perspective?
Yeah. So as I was talking to you earlier, networkmarketingpower.com, YouTube channel, Network Marketing Power. Subscribe there. You will get notified. Network Marketing Power, I have like everything is there, and it's in written version. So some people prefer to read it. They like to digest it that way. So either one, it's up to you guys. But yeah, so now I'm going what network marketing isn't. And that was all of the stuff.
That's brilliant.
The junk, and I'm done with it. I've written it all up. I promise you guys I will retire. but I want to write up everything that I know before I do, because I don't want it gone with me. Okay. So all those objections are over there. And now I'm going, what is it? How do you do it? Blah, blah, blah. So that's the way to get it. That's the best way. I am winded because I like to get somebody's full understanding. I don't like to just talk. I have to have people fully understand it. Bomb squad technicians tend to be this way.
And it's amazing because you use your slides and your visual aids as well so much through especially through the Network Marketing Power YouTube channel. It's one of I'm only subscribed to about 5 channels. Yours is one of them. Just because, to be honest with you, mate, I love having a laugh together when someone does something anti-MLM and you just go, hang, let's just break that down. And you break it down. It's so funny, especially for those of you who have such posture and confidence in network marketing. You are going to love it. And if you lack it, you are going to learn big time. So go find more about Tim Sales on social media. Go to networkmarketingpower.com. Go find Network Marketing Power on YouTube. Subscribe it. Hit the bell notification so you do not miss one. Remember, if you want to do well in social media, if you want to go up, you've got to grow up. You've got to show up. So do the work. Exchange the Netflix channels for the Network Marketing Power channels. And yeah, let's look forward to having Tim back on the show at some point in the near future. So I appreciate you, mate. And yeah, thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, sir, so much.
Appreciate it. Bye, guys.